You know that feeling, right? That sinking feeling in your stomach. You've just pushed a new feature, everything works perfectly on your machine, you're feeling pretty good about it, and then, bam, the build fails in CI. And you're just staring at the screen, totally confused, because you swear you didn't change anything that could have broken it. It is without a doubt one of the most frustrating moments for any developer. And there it is, the classic developer's nightmare. On your machine, it's all green check marks, everything's great. But over on the CI server, it's just a sea of red X's and error messages that don't make any sense. This is the exact "it works on my machine" problem that can literally steal an entire day while you go down some crazy debugging rabbit hole. So where do you even start looking? Well, the first place, obviously, is package.json. You're thinking, okay, did I accidentally update a dependency? Did a script get changed? But you check, and nope, it's exactly the same. The dependencies haven't been touched. So if the main recipe for the project is identical, what in the world is going on? And then you see it, the first real clue. The build isn't actually failing because of a code error. It's failing because of a checksum mismatch in the Lockfile. If you're using pnpm, that's your pnpm-lock.yaml. Now that file's entire job is to make sure the exact same dependencies get installed everywhere. But for some reason, the CI server is creating a totally different lock file than the one you have. And that right there, that's our smoking gun. And listen, this isn't just some hypothetical story. Ethan from Let It Code hit this exact problem. His words say it all. Even though package.json didn't change, the generated pnpm-lock.yaml checksum was different. I mean, that perfectly captures how weird this is. The blueprint was the same, but the building came out different. So why? What was the invisible hand changing things? Well, the culprit was hiding in plain sight all along. Turns out, the developer was running pnpm version 9 on their local setup, but the CI server, it was on a much newer version, 10.25. So the very tool being used to install everything was different between the two environments. That's what was creating the different lock file. The problem was never in the code, it was in the environment itself. So why does a version number difference cause this kind of chaos? Well, it all comes down to something called semantic versioning. See, when you jump from version 9 to version 10, that's a major version change. That's a big signal that there could be breaking changes, things that work differently, including how that super important lock file gets generated. A little jump like from 10.24 to 10.25, that's a minor change, and it's supposed to be safe. But that big leap from v9 to v10, that was the whole problem. And you know what? Once the problem was found, the fix was almost laughably simple. Just by upgrading the local pnpm version to match the major version on the CI server, moving up to v10.24, boom, the lock file matched perfectly. Problem solved. But just fixing it once isn't really the answer, is it? How do you stop this from ever happening to you or someone on your team ever again? Right. So how do we make a permanent, proactive fix? Because let's be real. Nobody wants to burn an afternoon debugging a CI pipeline over something this simple. We need to put up a guardrail that just makes this entire category of problem impossible. And the solution is so simple. It's just 2 steps. First, you and your team and your CI server all need to agree on the exact pnpm version you're going to use. Get on the same page. And second, you enforce that decision right inside your project's package.json. That way it's not just a verbal agreement, it's an actual rule the computer checks for you. And this is it. This is the magic one-liner that solves everything. You just add this package manager field to your package.json. What you're doing is embedding a rule directly into your project. You're telling every person and every machine, hey, you must use this exact version of pnpm. So now, if a new developer tries to run pnpm install with the wrong version, they don't get a silent failure later on. No, they get an immediate error right there on their machine. You catch the problem at the source. It's brilliant. So what's the big takeaway from all this? It's really simple. Mismatched major versions of pnpm can and will generate different lock files, and that can lead to those incredibly frustrating build failures that seem to come out of nowhere. The fix? Use the package manager field in your package.json to lock everyone into the same version. Trust me, it's one line of code that will save your future self hours and hours of headaches. And that kind of leaves us with one last question, doesn't it? We just found one of these invisible dependencies, the package manager version itself. It really makes you wonder, what other assumptions are we making about our environments? What's the next hidden setting, just lurking there, waiting to become the cause of your next broken build?